Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and this video is brought to you by the online BBallBreakdown membership. Click the first link in the description below to learn more and join.
Good.
When Klay Thompson landed awkwardly after a mid-air collision with Danny Green, it took a few minutes before it became clear his hamstring wouldn't let him play any longer. With Steph Curry being the biggest threat by such a large margin over anybody else in the Warriors, it made sense for Raptors coach Nick Nurse to get radical with his defensive alignment. But nobody could have predicted that he'd turn into a defense we normally see at the high school level, the box and one. With four players zoning around the lane and one defender focusing solely on Curry, this instantly caught the Warriors completely off guard, throwing it away and drawing a foul on Curry to boot. There were a total of 9 possessions where the Raptors went to this gimmicky defense, and the Warriors went 1 for 6 from the field, 3 turnovers, and missing their first 5 3-point attempts. I asked Cody Toppert, who was an assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns last year, to join me in breaking down what this defense did to the Warriors and ways in which they should be attacking it. Cody, thank you so much for coming on the show and breaking this down for us. I'm really excited to get your perspective on what happened in this end of this game with the box and one. So let's get into it. We got some clips we want to go through. 8-point lead. The Warriors are a little bit on to what's happening after the first possession. So they have Curry bring the ball up, which is interesting and notable. What do you see here happening that led to the result of this possession?
Yeah, I mean, as this particular possession plays out, I mean, first of all, I think it kind of caught everyone off guard, everyone at home that was watching. The NBA is a game of runs. It's also a game of adjustments, and it's all about breaking the opponent's rhythm. So I thought it was a great adjustment here by Nick Nurse and the staff. On this particular play right here, Steph brings the ball up the court, and we know what he's most deadly, right, when he gives the ball up. So he tries to do a little pass and chase action. And when the ball comes all the way to the other side here with DeMarcus, you can see that essentially he is by himself, right? We've got Gasol on the low, is the low man over there, and we've got Kawhi kind of playing two. And then it becomes about personnel, right? And now as Kyle Lowry comes over, they get back into their box formation. And I think the whole purpose of this, we know, is to shut down and limit Steph Curry's opportunities. And then it becomes relying on other players to make plays. As this possession winds down, now the shot clock gets below 6 seconds, you know, as Quinn Cook kicks it out to Iguodala. Iguodala catches and immediately, as he should, is looking for Steph. The only thing is that we got Van Vliet glued to Steph, and now we have an off-the-dribble three-point shot by Iguodala with 5 seconds left, leading to a miss, and then a rebound opportunity for the Raptors. And overall, I think it was looking good for the Raptors in terms of breaking rhythm and sticking to their game plan and making sure that Steph Curry doesn't beat you.
For sure. I think the big thing on this is that the shot clock wound down and they didn't get a good shot. And I think part of that was the issue with the overload on the left side to begin the possession. I don't think that Steve Kerr could have possibly intended to have 4 guys bunched down below the free throw line on the left side there when you see when Draymond passes the ball or gets the ball back on top, right?
Yeah, so the interesting thing, right, it's in terms of how organic the Golden State Warriors offense is, right? They're almost running concepts, not plays, right? So you see a lot of randomness in what they do. And because of that randomness, at times you're going to have odd overloaded situations, right, that are awkward. And then you just trust that the talent and the basketball IQ will find the right solution.
Well, let's go to our next clip right after this because we're hoping that the Warriors can start to figure this out, I suppose, and maybe get a good shot. And they get Curry off the ball this time. So it's important to notice who is bringing the ball up and how they want Curry to attack. And they have Quinn Cook initiating. So walk us through how they attack this and why it didn't seem to work out that well for him again.
So Curry off the ball, we know he's going to come off some kind of off-ball screens. A lot of times he loves to operate along the baseline on some runners where he has options to exit both sides, right? And in this particular case right here, Quinn Cook brings the ball up, and Steph kind of migrates towards that same side, making it the strong side. You've got DeMarcus Cousins down on that low, strong side block, kind of setting this rub screen. And really what Kawhi does here, even before Quinn Cook passes it back, Kawhi kind of loads up to prepare to almost kind of buy Van Vliet a second to get back to a square denied position. And now 2 guys are kind of committed to somebody without the basketball. Now all of a sudden, you know, you've got DeMarcus Cousins wide open under the basket. Really good play by Draymond. Also good awareness coming from Marc Gasol on the underside to rotate over. And from there, it becomes a scramble situation. And anytime you're in these scramble situations, it's always about anticipating your rotation, not reacting to the flight of the ball. And then Danny Green does a great job playing too. He understands Draymond Green, not a great three-point shooter, doesn't fully commit to the ball there, which allows him time to at least have an opportunity to contest the extra pass to Quinn Cook. So overall, I think they got, again, what they were looking for.
So let's go back and see what maybe the Warriors could have done or should have done. Were you surprised initially that on a nice pass from Draymond, like high-low to Cousins down below, that he just didn't go up and power it in?
He sees Gasol coming, and he's got the right kind of next play mentality in terms of like being unselfish. But the reality of it is he's inside the restricted circle. Quite honestly, if they really want to get a shot out of that next pass, Iguodala should be flying down to the corner. So on that next pass, it's a much longer closeout for Siakam. Mm-hmm. And, quite possibly Iggy gets a good look or is able to attack a closeout with the drive in this particular situation, right? You don't want to give up a great shot to get an average shot, and that's what they ultimately do.
And interestingly enough, I wonder if Kerr is going to look at this and think about personnel, because you now have Iguodala and Draymond together, and they're next to each other on the perimeter. So the next pass from both of those two are guys who the Raptors would be ecstatic to have shoot it, which will come up at the end. But I think that might be an interesting issue. Do you think that they might look at personnel-wise and maybe have to sacrifice Iguodala for maybe a guy who can shoot better?
Obviously based on the results of the last possession, right, you could argue like he's a shot maker, not a shooter, so he's going to make the big one when it counts. We've seen Draymond kind of be streaky and step up at random times just throughout the season in general. I think when you look at this lineup altogether, it's really a lineup of if anybody shoots it but Steph Curry, that's a win for us. Even Quinn Cook all the way down. Not that he's not a great shooter, but that there's an element of the moment, right? And you're just kind of playing the numbers in terms of, is he going to step up to the moment? Who knows? But we know Steph Curry has stepped up to the moment time and time again, right? So it's a pick your poison situation. And to me, if I'm the Warriors, as long as I'm not giving up restricted attempts and I'm giving up three-point attempts, but controlling that it's not Curry, and obviously with Clay out of the game, we know it's not going to be him, then that's a win for us. We live with the results. We try to crash the rebounds, and we try to push advantage break.
And then, by the way, great point about crashing the rebounds. They didn't do a good job of that, I don't think, either. They needed to be able to do that because, obviously, I think against the zone, that's where you're most vulnerable. Stay tuned for part 2 of this conversation with Cody as we pick 2 more plays from down the stretch and break them down. I'll also break down the final play's insanity. You won't want to miss it. You in? Sports fans, Coach Nick again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I've got a new online basketball membership where I share with you the best of what NBA teams are doing to help you be more successful on the court. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment below to learn more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about today's video. Check your settings to make sure you get notified each time we drop a new one. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?